In the last video, you learned how to convert an entire radical to a mixed radical. And so in this one, we're going to do the opposite, right? We're going to start with a mixed radical, and we're going to learn how to convert it into an entire radical. So I think this process tends to be a little, I feel like students find a little easier. So here we have 7 root 3. So we want to get this radical so there's no coefficient out in front. So how do we put that 7 back underneath of the radical symbol? Well, let's just think kind of backwards here. How would it have gotten to the outside? Well, to go from the inside to the outside, we would have had to take the square root, right? So the index in this case is 2. So in order to go put it back in, we're going to have to do the opposite, right? So instead of square rooting it, we're going to have to square it. So what is 7 squared? So 7 squared, again, I left our columns of perfect squares and perfect cubes here for us. So 7 squared is just 49. So we're just going to square the 7 and then multiply it by the 3 on the inside. And that will be the rule. So whatever the index is what we will raise the number on the outside to when we put it back underneath the radical symbol. And it's as simple as that. So then when we multiply, we'll simplify that a little bit. 49 times 3 gives us 147. Okay, and then we're done. Let's look at a second example. Okay, so in this one, we have 2 multiplied by the cube root of 4. So again, how would we have gotten that 2 out? Well, we would have, cube rooted a number to receive 2. So to put it back in, we raise, the number that's outside the 2 to the power or to the exponent of the 3, which is like the index. So we have cube root, and now we have 2 cubed multiplied by 4. Okay, and don't forget to leave the index as being 3, right? A lot of students have a tendency to drop that. So then we have, well, what's on the inside? What's 2 cubed? 2 cubed is 8. So then 8 times 4, and then we just have the cube root of 32. And if you want practice doing the previous lesson, you can always check your answer. So we're left with an entire radical, so then you can try and use the process that we learned in the last video to then convert your answer back into a mixed radical, which is what we started with in this example. All right, so this next one, and again, at any point before we start an example, I encourage you to stop the video and try it on your own to see if you can get it before I show you how to do it. So in this one we have 2 multiplied by the 5th root of 3. So again, to move that 2 in, right, whatever's in the index, that's the exponent that goes with the number on the outside to bring it back in. So we'll just have the 5th root of 2 to the 5 multiplied by 3. And we can simplify that. 2 to the power of 5 is 32 multiplied by 3. And then 32 multiplied by 3 is 96. So we're left with an answer of the 5th root of 96, which is now an entire radical. And let's do one more example. 4 root 5. So just a reminder, if there's no number in the index, that means it's the default of 2. It's just a square root of 5. You will not see a 2 written as the index. So we are going to raise 4 to the exponent of 2. And multiply it by 5. So that's 16 multiplied by 5, which is equal to the square root of 80. And that's all there is to it.